edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. We're here on a Wednesday, also known as Tony's favorite day of the week.
That's right, baby.
I am joined by Tony and Zachary. How you fellas doing?
I am doing great today, Zach. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Yes, that's phenomenal, dude. Pumped to be here. You said it, Wednesday, big day, middle of the week here. Obviously, tough Mets loss last night, but I'm still stoked to talk about it. I got a few gripes with some certain players. A few gripes with the weather, a few gripes with the umpires. But here I am, dude. My Mets polo, still supporting, like a great Mets fan. Unlike some other fans of certain sports teams, dude.
Wait, what do you mean? No, but seriously.
But no,
really.
dude. No, really. Tell me what you mean, dude. But no, I'm pumped, dude. I'm pumped to talk about Kev Dew, and I got Coach K over my right shoulder right now, backing me up. So let's go, dude.
But just a quick yes or no. Is Sevy part of that group of players?
I mean, a little bit, dude. I mean,
Okay.
at the end of the day, you know, I mean, you can make excuses for certain players, weather, whatever, whatnot. But I mean, you know, I think Sevy could have performed better. But we'll get into it when we,
Sure.
you know, there definitely wasn't. He's not on the top of my list in terms of who is pissing me off the most. That's for sure, though.
Yeah. But we got a ton of comments, so let's get to those before we get down to business here.
Let's go, Zach.
Do you want me to read them all?
Let's do it, dude.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
Zach, the
Bring
whole
some
way,
energy,
the full
dude.
27
Yes.
right here.
Kev Dew starts us off, says, let's go. We want the smoke. Yeah, the Mets lost. I can handle a loss. Unlike other people, not to name names, double B.
Wow.
Tony, just a bump. No big deal. Hashtag TCA, hashtag DTV, hashtag Sportsport. Have a great show.
Wow, dude. I mean, you got to appreciate the positivity there. Just a bump, dude. I mean, you got anything, Brian?
I think let's just
you want to go
read
through them all?
everything
All right,
first,
let's
and
rip
then
it.
we'll talk
Let's
about
go
this.
through the war that's in the comments, dude.
Brian Barnaby comments, you laughing emojis. Says, why does this sound so familiar? Matthew Gabriel says, let's go. Kev Dew, there you are. Been looking for you all over the tri-state for you, bud. And says, had the ops out there with the dogs. Come on.
Dude.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Says, hey, Bonds. Says, I had the telescope out. Hey, Barnes, again. Look at yous.
He says it like, hey, Bonds.
Hey,
dude.
Bonds.
You got to really get into that mode,
Our good
dude.
friend Josh from Eastern.
Never met him. Never going to meet him, probably.
I haven't talked to him in like 6 years.
Does he know you do that?
No, he doesn't.
No? Would
But
he be tight?
I don't know. Maybe you think it's funny because I think it's pretty accurate. But Bones?
Brian Barnaby says, there's our guy. Says, glad he's okay. Kev Dew says, what sounds familiar, Barnes? And then says, we lost, and I'm on here still bigging my team up, unlike you. You was when the Yankees had their losing streak, all of a sudden they won a couple of games, and you're crowning them the best team. Stop yourself, bro.
Nice.
Brian comments back, says, we've been better all season, all your life. You would think you would be used to it by now. I promise you, if you just let it go, it will be better for you. And then says, no reason to embarrass yourself anymore.
Brian said that.
Yes.
Wow.
Interesting.
Strong words there.
Interesting comment there from Brian Barnaby.
Oh, what else we got? Is it still go on?
Oh, yeah, it's still going.
Oh, we're
Oh, my
going.
God,
We're
dude.
going.
Matthew Gabriel says, Kev Dew, everything's all right. Kev Dew back with another comment here. Brian, stop yourself because you really only saw one Yankees chip. All the others, I'm assuming he says you don't know
So,
shit about.
it's-
Is it a typo?
yeah.
You know what it was?
You gotta get with the typo.
I guess
He got a lot
maybe
of
I
typos in
was
there.
maybe I was born in 02 instead of 92. Honestly, that's probably what he's thinking. You know, I'm only 22 instead of 32.
Wouldn't you like that, dude?
Wouldn't we all?
Oh.
He then goes on to say, be honest, your generation are all bandwagon fans of the Yankees and fans that wish every year they're going to win. Says, you're the type of fan that makes me hate the Yankees. I have friends that have been fans before you were born and don't gloat when they win more chips that you see with your own eyes, then talk shit. Kev Du says, Matty G. Brian Bormy says, rub some dirt on it, you'll be okay.
Nice.
Kev Du says, Brian, you're a great person, but you're a sorry-ass Yankee fan. And then says, during that losing streak, your mouth wasn't saying nothing at all, but now they won a couple of games. You have diarrhea in your diarrhea of the mouth. Tommy Donovan says, hi, fans.
Dear Tommy.
Kev Du says, beautiful shirt, Tony.
Oh, thanks, Kev Du.
Comments Vientos.
Yep.
I don't know if
that's probably my
positive.
main. Yep. That's the main guy I'm talking about today.
Yeah.
That guy. Oh,
yeah. Matthew Gabriel says, look at Bonds, and then says, ready to pounce.
Yeah, dude.
Anthony,
Pretty good call there.
what's funny? And then Kev Du says, it's all love, Brian. And that's the end of it.
What's the fuck is so funny about it?
Oh, my
referencing
God.
Joe Pesci,
Mhm.
of course.
The fuck's so funny? No, you tell me.
But I think it's just one of those things. I mean, we could talk about when people were born, what championships they saw, and all this stuff. But I think it just comes down to very simple. It's like just do a comparison of the organization.
do you think
one has been clearly above the other? I mean, I don't need to tell you that.
Do you
Everybody
think
else
that
knows
argument's valid though? Because I really don't, to be honest.
Dude, I mean, listen, I know because listen, me and Cap, I'm
Right.
ready to go. I'm ready for this. But just
Mhm.
with you with this, in all seriousness, I know it nobody wants to be a part of something like this. But obviously you're just in it. So of course, you've been a Met, that's how you grew up with your family, all this.
Right.
But the Mets, let's face it, in baseball have been, since their inception, sure, they had a couple championships, couple strong seasons, but they've been one of the more embarrassment franchises of the league. I mean, that's just how it is. And it's sure, there's hope sometimes, this and that, but at the end of the day, it has been a repetitive cycle where we're feeling really good, we're expecting things, and then it's like this, and it's this, and it's that, and that's been going on really since the Mets were created. I mean, that's just history.
No, yeah, I mean, I suppose so. But again, in terms of you haven't been alive for those championships, I think that's kind of a tough argument. I mean, obviously, I wasn't alive for any of the Mets championships, but I still watch tapes. I've watched documentaries about 86 and 69, and those are dope years, and I do talking about Mets history. I cite those years, obviously. Those are World Series winning years. I don't think you have to be alive for those to really appreciate,
and the thing,
be a
when
fan,
he was speaking of, it's I was alive. You know what I mean? It's
no, but I'm saying, for the bulk of their championships, though, you were not alive.
Oh, when you win 27,
right.
I don't think anybody's 100, whatever you want to call it, 120 years old. At this point, no. You're not around.
But also, to say that the Mets have been one of the bigger disappointing organizations, I think they're above 50% in terms of successful
but you live
teams.
It every year.
No, I understand that, but so many teams do, Brian. So many teams do.
I think though it's different.
There's
with the
one
Mets,
winner
though,
every year,
because
dude.
it does seem
it's different for you with the Mets.
No, but I'm just saying I don't know. It just seems like to me. I don't see how it's different any other year. It's the same thing, and maybe certain years are better than the other, but it's the same cycle of all the Mets fans complaining, and then they win a little bit, everybody's excited. Oh, this is gonna be us, this is gonna be us. And then when it comes down to it, it's just back to square one every time.
No, I understand, but I think to say that they're one of the more embarrassing organizations in the league ever is kind of out of pocket. And I think maybe you just hear more because you're obviously a Yankee fan. We're on the East Coast here.
Yeah.
It's the same deal with, let's say, the Padres organization, comparing them. I'm sure when they got Machado, it was a big deal.
You know what it is?
And them falling flat on their face every year.
I think it's because there's such a big fan base. And a lot of the people, like a Kev Du, who's been around a while, are very loud and
that's what I'm saying.
It's kind of honestly it is embarrassing though, because
there is a big fan base, of course, but there's a big fan base where we are. So I think you're just hearing about it more. That's why maybe you think that there's more. But I don't know. And again, isolated incidents for certain fans, for sure. But at the end of the day, you can't knock the fact that the Mets haven't won, since '86. But regardless, I don't know.
I just think to bark up the Yankee tree, though, is just the wrong tree to bark up. Like, you know what I mean? You want to talk about some other teams like the White Sox who just, finished that losing streak. Like, that's different, sure. But to talk about the team that's won the most, like, you're going after the wrong person.
No, yeah. I mean, I think you're totally right. And I mean, this is that age-old conversation. You can have it forever, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think one of the big reasons why, and I feel like obviously for, again, this area, you'll see a lot of those fans be Mets or Red Sox fans after the Yankees. But I mean, all over the country, I feel like people who do attack Yankee fans, even if you want, again, using the West Coast, big market, just like the East Coast as an example, Dodgers fans, whatever. Those the Yankee fans, the organization, I mean, it's every year, it's World Series or bust. And I think that's why people bark up that tree, because you're already setting that standard of World Series or bust. And again, it hasn't happened in 15 years.
Yeah, but you know what the difference is, though? Like, it's not embarrassing. And I think that's the difference with the Mets fan, that like every time there's a little run, like says like this is it, and then like to go after another team when it's like you're not exactly following up yourself. Like, you know what I mean? That's where it's like, what do we even discuss?
Right, but then again, like then we come back to the age-old conversation is like, then who can, like, then the team that wins the World Series, you can talk, and then that's it.
Yeah, but even just if you're doing like a full comparison, there's nothing that the Mets, you know what I mean, are ahead in. So it's just like, why are you even talking about it? That's what I guess it's like. It just seems like it's a pointless conversation. Like, there's
it is
nothing
pointless.
that
It's ridiculous because
but would lead to say that the Mets have had a more successful run. Like, they haven't.
Successful run as a team, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even close. So it's like, that's why I just don't get why the Mets fans even bother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't compare the two teams as a whole. Like, you can't compare any two teams as a whole organization. For one, the Yankees have been around for way longer than the Mets have been. I mean, that's for sure. And again, you want to talk about, organization, ownership. I mean, it's all different. I think that's a tough comparison. I mean,
it's two baseball teams. You want to start since the inception of the Mets. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? You want to forget about all the championship for it. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's all I'm saying. It's like, I just think I get why the Mets fans impatient. Like, I understand that, but it's like, I think that's the problem. If they had waited till they actually won a championship, then it's like a different conversation. But I think it's just, they keep jumping the gun. And that, to me, it just comes off as embarrassing.
I don't know. I mean, again, the conversation, I mean, you can take it from however long you want. You want to do the full entire franchise? You want to do it since 2009, since 15, since 2000, just 2000? Sure. But I mean, all those stipulations, again, you're I don't know. We're talking. There's so much turnover with these teams. There are different rosters, different managers. For the most part, I guess for the Yankees, it's the same GM, but there's different GMs, different owners. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the best way to really do it, especially during the season, I mean, you got to look at it at the season as a whole. Take it one season at a time, I guess. For me, like that. That's why I think. I mean, like, again, like if you want to chirp, you can chirp, but I mean, like, I think where the conversation gets nowhere is when you do bring up like, 2009, 2015, like, 86, like that. I feel just creates an irrelevancy for the conversation. Like,
yeah, I guess it just, to me, I just don't understand how like a Mets fan could even think like there's even a debate though. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, are you now watching every season? Like,
no, but like, I mean, like, debate for what though? I mean, like we're talking about like talking trash about a team, and if the Yankees aren't doing well, you'll get trashed.
Yeah, but it's like at the end of the year, they're always doing better and well. You know what I mean? And they have like talent and like a plan. And it just feels like the Mets have had no plan, I don't know, since I was born, honestly. Like, it's like, and then when there is a good group, like you had that group, good group in 2015, it all went to shit. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, after that year, you haven't managed it properly when you've had it, and you've barely had it. So it's like, I mean, how is that not repetitive? And it's just every single time it has been the same thing. They have not been able to sustain anything for a very long time.
Yeah.
So,
oh boy, Brian,
I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, but again, I mean, like that. So, like, if the Yankees are doing well, you're telling me no fans can trash talk, is what you're saying?
Not Mets fans, no. I just feel
like
who
can.
I don't know. I guess whoever like has won recently. I mean, I guess who's really been the most successful team in the past 20 years? Believe it or not. I mean, I guess 20. I mean, it's the Red Sox are up there, the Giants are up there. In terms of like as amount of championships they won, but I'm just talking about just the Mets, and I just think going for the jugular of the Yankees, it's just not a smart idea. And it just seems kind of like, what are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's fair play, dude. I mean, if the Yankees aren't doing well, you can talk shit. If the Mets aren't doing well, you can talk shit. Doesn't matter.
I guess the thing that I just don't like is it seems like Mets fans, like Kev do, try to like bring us down to the Mets level. And it's like, I just feel like it's a completely different thing. And that's why it's just like, why are you even doing that though? It's like, I wouldn't even bring it up, but it's like, you're going to bring it up. I mean, it's like, not the best point to bring it up.
To say you don't bring it up is ridiculous.
I think I'm always preempted. I don't just bring it up 100%. No, I don't.
But when you don't bring it up, but when you say the Mets lose, you have a big grin on your face.
Because I've seen the same thing for so long, though, Tony. Like, yeah, I mean, so have you. And I think I honestly give you credit for hanging in there with the punches. I mean, it's brutal what you have to endure.
I mean, honestly, though, but like in my lifetime, I was born in 95, obviously not very cognizant for the first 4 years, I suppose. Even in 2000, honestly, obviously I'm a Met fan at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't seen the Yankees have much success either, dude.
But it's like
in my lifetime, I have not seen that success from the Yankees.
But the thing is, like we've talked about this many times, but it's like you have to be in the playoff field to have a chance, and like the Mets barely ever make it there.
But I'm just saying,
that means you have no chance from the start, though. I mean, that's like how much worse can you get if you're not even in the playoffs?
Yeah, but what's more of a chance worth if you're still losing every time? It obviously doesn't matter.
Well, you have to have a chance.
And I mean, if you want to talk about
to win, you have to make the playoffs, though. That's the thing.
Right.
So let's start there. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, so when the Mets are perennial playoff participants, then they'll be different, but they're not. They just haven't been.
So that's just, if the Mets start making the playoffs consistently, you'll be okay. I mean, you can talk shit now.
I mean, it's more just like you could just take them seriously. I just feel like right now, you just can't because they're just never there. You know what I mean? And it's like they'll have their hot stretches and they just crash and burn down the stretch and it's just like the same cycle over and over again.
Yeah, but like that's what like in my lifetime, that's what the Yankees have been doing. Like,
but
again,
the Yankees
they make it further, sure, but then they crash and burn. They get swept by the Astros.
But
they blow it against the Rays.
But that's just not a good argument.
No, it is, though. It's the same exact argument. It's the same exact argument, dude.
It's like really embarrassing.
Like you're blowing it just later than the Mets blow it.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Like you're blowing in a wild card season against the Red Sox. Like that is blowing it, though.
But how about just get there first? You know what I mean? Like you're not. So until you
Neither are you, though. You're not getting anywhere either.
But
you're not going to the World Series.
Like you're just completely discounting that. Like it's like you're not even good enough to make the playoffs.
A lot of teams aren't.
With expanded playoffs, though. With expanded playoffs, you're still not good enough.
So what?
That's bad.
Of course, it's bad. So is not winning the World Series, though. Like it's the same. But
that's
idea.
Different. It's easier to make the playoff. It is because it's easier to make the playoffs than it is to win the World Series.
Obviously,
right. And like the Mets can't do that. So it's just like until they can do that, there's nothing to talk about. And it's like it's a shame that the Mets fan for whatever reason likes to bark up that tree. But until you do that, there's just nothing to discuss.
I mean, I don't know. I still think there is. I think, again, to make the playoffs, like that's not like I'll go back to it once again. Like the Yankee mentality every freaking year is World Series or bust. You guys are busting every year.
But that doesn't, what you're saying makes no sense. Like it's like you're talking about busting every year. I mean, if we're busting, what are the Mets exploding? Like
sure, if you want to compare it, but at the end of the day, and I've made this argument a few times, at the end of the day, both teams are not getting it done. And I'll say it again, in my lifetime, I haven't seen great run stretches.
You've seen the Yankees win in 09 and you haven't seen the Mets win anything.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about stretch sustainable runs, Yankees haven't had that.
Well, yeah, except that they're in the playoffs every year. And if you added up all the years they made the playoffs that you've been born and then compare it to how many times the Mets have made.
No. I mean, if you want to take Brian Cashman's argument right now and say that they're making the playoffs and this is good and whatever, that's fine. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's World Series or bust.
You get confused about is there's a difference between saying it's acceptable that the Yankees have a 1 in 15 years or to say that they've been far more successful than the Mets. And that's two different things.
I mean, I'm not saying that, though.
Well,
I'm not saying the Mets are more successful than the Yankees.
But it's not even like a conversation. And it just, for some reason, it's just so difficult. I don't know if it's just because being in the same town, it's just so difficult for the Mets fan to just admit that.
Yeah, but see, like I'm telling you that it is a conversation, though. Because to say you want to compare lifelong franchises, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, the reason why it is a conversation is because people in my generation, my age, have not seen. They've seen the Red Sox win more World Series than the Yankees.
But it still has nothing to do.
It does
with
have
that.
a lot to
Mets
do with
have
it,
no
though.
chance every
No.
year.
But it has.
But yeah. Like
No. But it has
have a
something.
chance, though.
It has something to do about the Yankees being losers. But see, that's what it is. Like,
the
like,
Mets are the biggest losers of the whole game, Tony.
Like
what are
you want
talking
no.
about?
But see, exactly. You want to talk about Mets fans
Oh my
saying
God,
that they
dude.
bring the Yankees down to the Mets level. That's just like every Yankee fan has that.
But we're better. Like that's it. Like get over it.
We're not talking about that though.
But we
like,
are.
We're not, no. Like that's not the conversation.
Then what is the conversation?
The conversation is if someone can talk shit about the Yankees.
There's nothing to talk about.
There
it's like
is
if
something
you
to
have
talk
a better
about.
team, I welcome it.
You sit here and talk shit about the Yankees every day.
But what I'm saying is the Mets have never been better. And it's just like, I don't
That's
know why
ridiculous.
it's so hard for the Mets fan to admit
They
that.
have been. They have better records recently. As 2022, they had a better record than the Yankees.
It's just
know,
so
like,
bad.
It's not that bad. To sit here and to be like that they're better every year. I mean, that's wrong. I just said
90%
2 years ago they were not better than the Mets.
But 90%?
They were not.
Like that's a pretty big difference. 90%.
Sure. Have you ever seen Little Giants? You ever seen Miracle? Okay.
God.
Like they talk about that one time, dude. All it takes is one. We play the Soviets 9 times out of 10. We may lose, 9 times. Not tonight, Brian.
I don't know. I guess it just like, you know what? I think the thing that just like kind of like annoying for me and just like kind of just a waste of time. I just feel like it's like the Mets, like most years, they don't even have the right roster. And the fact that like, I don't know. Like, I just think that still, like, a lot of Mets fans think, like, they're going to make the playoffs and could, like, go on a run. And it's like, have you looked at your roster? Like, it's just not a good roster. It wasn't well built. And it's like, why, like, just open your eyes. Like, it's just like, you don't have enough. Like, it's like, there's going to be inconsistencies.
Right. And I mean, there has been, just like any team has had inconsistencies. You can talk even about the Yankees with inconsistencies.
But I would say they have a bottom 10 roster in the whole league, honestly. Like their rotation is a joke.
Rotation's tough for sure. But I mean, obviously, we've seen some bright spots recently out of the rotation. So, I mean, like you can't be, it's the worst. It's not bottom 10 rotation in the league. I'd have to probably dive into some more research there. I mean, you're talking about a lot of teams, dude.
That's making the point that it's like, it's there.
Well, no, I have to dive because I can't name you fucking 50 pitchers right now off the top of my head, you know? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, it is a pointless conversation because there's really no point to it. But I mean, that's just the end. That's the ebbs and flows of every team, of every league, of every year. People lose. People have tough stretches. Other fan bases talk shit. I mean, that's just the way it is.
I guess it's just like, I just don't like teams or fan bases saying stuff that like it's just not warranted, and it's just like it's just not even close. It's just like,
but I mean, for you to sit there and say it's unwarranted when you haven't even been there in 15 years, is it unwarranted?
And in those 15 years, how many times have the Mets even had a chance, being that they were in the playoffs?
They had one opportunity with her in the World Series.
One opportunity.
How many times had the Yankees had that opportunity since 2009? 0 times.
But
and again,
it's a wrong argument.
It's not a wrong argument.
I don't know why it's so hard to admit, like as Mets fans, that it's just like it's a bad organization. Like, and it's like you thought it was going to get better with Cohen, it hasn't. So it's just like I don't know why that's so hard to say. It's not been a well-run organization, and that's it. Like,
yeah, but organizations change. Okay. Again, you want to talk about Cohen? Obviously, the result isn't there. Result being World Series. But I mean, you can't say it's not better than what you had before, because it is, like, by far better than what the Wilpons were doing with the team.
But how though? They didn't even win a playoff series.
What do you mean how?
But how
you want to
talk
about roster construction, commitment financially to bringing in players? They didn't have that, and that's why the team was mismanaged. That's why you had players that should have been perennial Mets that ended up having to leave the team due to injury, or they wanted to be traded because it was a tough culture. And now you don't have that. You don't have.
You really think you've allocated the money the right way?
Allocated? I think, again, I mean, this is a conversation we've had multiple times. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, again, you want to look at some of the big deals that Cohen's made. I mean, obviously losing DeGrom, bringing in Verlander, I will stand by that. That was definitely the best move you could have done at the time. So, I mean, literally Verlander coming off a World Series win, Cy Young year. I mean, yeah, how are you not going to sign or try to replace a Jacob DeGrom? Like, even with an older guy that you could maybe even sniff injuries with, look at what DeGrom's career was. I mean, it was riddled with injuries anyway. So yeah, I mean, that's a good allocation of funds. But even bringing in Scherzer at that time, I mean, we talked about it, like those two pitchers played in the Tigers, a lot of juice, veteran pitchers. That's kind of what you wanted to do. I mean, again, good allocation of funds. I think so. Obviously didn't work out, at this time because injuries.
So if it didn't work out, then how was that a good move?
Because what's the better move then? Give me a better move.
I mean,
you're coming to me with the problem.
Younger position.
No.
They should have went after Trey Turner. They should have went after Aaron Judge, but they didn't.
Go after Aaron Judge? Like
I wouldn't have wanted it, but I'm just saying.
Sure,
if
dude.
Cohen opened,
but like, how realistic is that?
But
it's not realistic.
But I'm saying, but the thing that you're missing is when Cohen came in, it was that there was just an open checkbook. There hasn't been.
He's done that. He offered Ohtani whatever he wanted. He offered Yamamoto whatever he wanted.
He did not offer Ohtani $700 million.
He offered Yamamoto the most out of any other team.
Other team
than the Mets.
No, but I'm saying, you're saying that he offered more than the Dodgers? No, he didn't.
Yes, I know for a fact he did. They talked about that, and he didn't want to play on the East Coast.
It's just, but the point is, they haven't brought anybody in. And it's been 4 years. It's not like this was yesterday. It's been 4 years. He hasn't done a good job. He came in with a lot of bark.
That's right.
He hasn't really done anything good.
I mean, again, listen, the result isn't there because there's no World Series. You can't argue that.
But
to say he's done nothing good, what do you mean?
The common thing? The result isn't here. That's the point I'm trying to make. But then there's always a justification for why the result isn't here, and that's the point that I'm making. They're not well run. They're not well constructed.
I mean, it's not really a justification as much as it is just like look at what's happening within the organization, and this is the reasons why you're not winning the World Series. I'm not justifying anything.
But you don't think? But all I'm saying is, since he took over, you don't think they could be in a better position?
Of course they can. They can win a World Series. That's a better position.
Okay with you though,
because you have to look at the circumstances of each year. What free agency is looking like? Who wants to play for the Mets?
Turner. If they gave him a Brinks truck, he would have came. They didn't do that.
I don't think he would have, dude. There's no way.
Everybody has a price.
Obviously not. I just told you Yamamoto was offered the most amount of money.
But they didn't even have an offer to trade Turner. They didn't. And then like the only guy they were going to bring in was Carlos Correa, who had terrible medicals.
Is that their fault?
Well, yes.
Like, what do you mean,
done
dude?
More research on the medicals. Like,
three teams he went through. Like, obviously, there was something odd going on there. Like, you bring out an extenuating circumstance here about Carlos Correa. First of all, who the fuck cares anyway? You're better off without him. Like, honestly.
But that's the point, though. Why can't they bring in top position players?
Who?
Anybody.
What do you mean anybody?
Better than they have. The only guy outside the organization that they brought in that was supposedly big time was Lindor. And like,
he's a top 10 shortstop in the entire league.
But the contract is looking like it's going to have some rough years at the end. It doesn't look like the best move. And it doesn't seem like it's a contract that anybody would take
If they win a World Series, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if.
Well, yeah, that's with any team. It's if you win the World Series.
Listen,
like it doesn't matter.
I just think you're just giving him too much of a pass.
Cohen.
Yeah.
What do you want him to do? Sell the team and bring in who? Who's buying the team? Who's going to be better?
But I just think from the start, he just did not do a good job. He didn't get the right people in place right away. All the general managers he went through, managers. It should have been a sound plan from the start. He did not do
It was a sound plan.
But
they had a fucking over 100 wins, dude.
But they brought in who? Zach Scott? How is that even a thing? Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Zach Scott didn't let. He was the interim GM and he got busted
but that's the point. Again, like it's like
then they brought in Billy Epler. Yeah.
Again, you know what I mean? Like it's like, why didn't you just like Buck was probably the best decision they made.
Buck was a great decision.
And then to get rid of him,
I know. I would think it's quick, but then again, it's because it's fucking not for nothing. Like I would have stuck with Buck. All right. Like, I don't know why they didn't. Obviously, they needed some type of changing of the guard, I guess, after a tough year. But regardless, that first year with over 100 wins, you made the wild card spot because you had fucking 3 other teams with over 100 wins.
Right. But then
like, that is crazy, bro.
Though,
I've never seen that in my life.
Why couldn't you sustain that?
Why couldn't you sustain that?
Because you didn't make the right moves to do that. You had a 100-win team, and you couldn't even win one wild card series.
What were the right moves though? Because
clearly not the ones that they made.
Team was great. They were very good. Over 100 wins. That's a great season. Next year, similar team. Like at that point, you have to blame the athletes.
But
So how
and
could you
who's
blame
putting-
Cohen for that?
Well, who's putting the athletes there? Who's keeping the same guys?
Who's putting the
not-
same athletes? I won over you 100 wins.
But you
Why
ask
wouldn't
any
you do
team,
that?
Any team that wins
Ask
the
any
World
owner; they would
Series-
rerun the same
But
fucking
look
roster.
At any team that wins the World Series, they don't run back the exact same roster. There's always changes every year. And clearly they haven't made the right ones. And they didn't even win the World Series. They lost in a wild card series. It's like,
but again, like look at the circumstances, Brian. The Giants, the Padres, the Dodgers all had 100 wins.
the Padres didn't have 100 wins.
99, 98, dude. They were in the wild card series against the Mets. Like,
Right, but the whole thing is, again, you're just accepting. Like,
no, I'm not accepting. Do I want them to lose the wild card series?
But then
No,
why are you defending Steve Cohen? Like,
because
he
I
hasn't done
still
a good-
think
why
he's
is that
an
so hard
because
for
he's
you?
an owner that could bring a team in the World Series, and I really do think that.
So what have you seen that makes you believe that?
Again, pieces that he's brought in, I think he makes the right moves. He's willing to spend money. You don't
What
understand,
pieces?
like the Wilpons did not want to spend any money, dude.
But I'm saying, what pieces do you see winning a World Series with that he brought in?
Like right now,
Yeah.
I mean, this team, again, the current team, the young guys I can see on the World Series team. I think re-signing Nimmo, he can be on a World Series roster. Obviously, Lindor, that goes without saying. And so those are four guys right there that he is responsible for having and keeping on the team that can be on a World Series roster.
Listen,
Alonso could also be on a World Series roster. Will he be kept around, though? Who knows? And you can't tell me Alonso can't be on a World Series roster. He can be.
I don't think as the top guy.
Doesn't matter.
no.
I don't care if he's the top guy or the lowest guy. He can be on a
Well,
World Series
I mean,
roster.
His salary is going to be the top guy if you keep him. So
Okay.
if you're the guy that you pay the most,
Then he will
shouldn't
be the
your
top
best
guy.
player?
Then he'll be the top guy.
But again, like there's nothing to point. that he can
There's
do that.
nothing to
You just-
point that they're going to sign him a big contract either. So, like, what are we talking about?
But okay, so they're not going to sign him to a big contract. Then why didn't they trade him? Like, you know what I mean?
We already
And
talked
it's
about that.
But but this is what I'm talking about. Those are
Right.
bad decisions.
Yeah, no, that's a tough decision. I probably would have traded him. Yeah.
In this whole the whole trade deadline, it's like maybe there wasn't much, but it would have been something like, especially after what you've seen last couple of starts, like Severino should have been traded. Like,
Yeah, no, probably. But again, I mean, you want to look at the circumstance of this trade deadline. Nobody really made big moves.
I mean, there were definitely some big moves. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I just think they need a better farm system.
Mhm.
They had an opportunity. They missed that because they got caught up with the emotion of this wild card hunt. And now you don't end up making it, then it was all for nothing. At least if you had traded some guys, you still could have hung in there and then maybe had some guys to look forward to in the future.
I mean, they're still trying to make the playoffs, though. Like, they're not going to punt on the season.
But you didn't need to punt on the trading Severino is not punting on the season. It's not even close. Though. Like
He's one of your better pitchers, though.
But you honestly don't think second half, like you'd be better off with just pretty much anybody else? Like,
I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest, dude. And again, circumstantial, Brian. We'll get into last night's game, kerfuffle, the weather scenario, crazy. But regardless, dude, I mean, they're making the hunt for the playoffs. Isn't that what you want for them?
But I don't know. I just think, and I know whatever anybody can say about what I'm saying, that's fine. But I just think, I don't know. It's tough for me to really see a vision of their team in the playoffs. Like, I know they had a good run, but like I said, I think it just from the jump, like it wasn't constructed properly. And that's hard to overcome.
But again, like, it's a transitional year again, obviously.
So if it's but you know what I mean? So then if it's a traditional year, why not take advantage of getting younger guys to bring in? Like, if you want to build something sustainable.
No, you're preaching to the choir. I mean, that's what we talked about
so
at the deadline.
But again, why I'm saying
right.
Leadership, ownership, front office, they're not doing the right things.
I mean, I would be interested to see where Stearns goes in the offseason. You know, a lot of these guys aren't going to be around. So again, this may be a year where Cohen does bring out his checkbook again, because this offseason obviously didn't. And he talked about that being a little bit more conservative in terms of where he's putting his money. Because like you said, allocation of funds, the older guys wasn't working out. So again, I think this is a transitional year. And for a team right now, like the Mets, tough start in a wild card race. I mean, that's like the best you can ask for, dude.
Yeah, I just think there was, though, a couple guys that could have traded, and
I
they
totally
would still
agree.
be in the same position, and then still have those younger guys. And like I said, I saw Severino implode last year and other years, and it's like hard to not think that's going to happen. I mean, obviously, I honestly, in all seriousness, wish him well, but I just feel like it's one of those things where I've seen it too many times. And that was the opportunity before that deadline. His numbers were pretty good. There's no way you couldn't have got something decent.
Yeah, I know.
for
I
him.
think you're right.
And you can't give him a contract.
But-
you can't give him
No,
a
there's
contract.
no way. Maybe a 1-year deal.
But even that,
but
like,
he's-
would you really want to do that? Not really, right?
I honestly probably would, dude. Especially with the way the rotation is. I'll give him a 1-year deal. He can be like our 4th rotation starter or something, dude. The guy's consistently last night throwing 98 miles per hour, which is kind of crazy. Was he doing that with the A's?
Yeah, he was, but he just wasn't locating it properly, and there wasn't enough spin. I don't know if you saw that last night, but that was a common thing, and there wasn't enough movement.
Dude, I tell you right, he was pitching in the fucking rain for those last 2 innings. Like, it was kind of crazy that they didn't.
that
like,
doesn't help.
Like, I really can't believe that they didn't honestly postpone it earlier, or delay it.
I think too, it's not like a blind resign. Like, obviously, like if his ERA is not good the rest of the year, you're not going to want to resign.
Oh yeah, if he has a shitty second half, you're not resigning him.
Yeah,
but that again, I was talking to Zach about the show. I mean, that's one of those tough decisions. I mean, if he does kill the second half of the year, like how do you almost not resign him?
But you know what it just reminds me of? I feel like it's like any sport. Like we have a guy that was very good, okay, and then he struggles for a couple of years, has a little run, and then that tricks our minds into thinking that he's going to return to the guy that he once was.
Tiger Woods.
And exactly. And then we commit to him, we invest in him, and then what are we left with? We're left with what we were before that, because obviously it was just a little lightning in a bottle. And then it evaporates, and it's like I like it, to give an example. Like I feel like it's like LeMahieu, like for instance, like last couple of years, like has been absolutely brutal. And it's like maybe there was like a couple stretches or two. Oh, spring training's looking really good, but we all knew he's gonna get hurt. He's not gonna be consistent. So I just feel like for guys that were pretty good, the first sign of trouble, more times than not, that sign of trouble was the beginning to the end. And I think we see that so all over all major sports, honestly.
Yeah, I know. And that's honestly, it is tough because you really do. It's almost like you see this guy do well, and it's like maybe in the back of your mind, you are thinking he's going to not be as good next year. But it's like, dude, this guy, like, what if he is? This guy, like, did hustle for the team this year, kind of deserves maybe a 1-year deal. It's tough, dude.
And like, even for you, like, even though I know you, like, listen, it's been a good stretch recently, like, but McNeil, for instance, like, the smart thing, the non-emotional thing would be, let's say he does finish out the season strong, would be if someone was willing to take on that whole contract in the offseason, the right move would be get out of Dodge now, because it's like, what are the chances that he's going to actually sustain that and go back to batting champ Jeff McNeil? I mean, as much as you want to see it, are you really going to expect to see it?
I think it's another 2 years till 2027. You have him signed to.
Yeah.
I know
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough. And I think he's making 15 mil next year. I think, dude. Yeah. So he is getting paid a lot, but I mean, I would be like stunned if someone took on that contract, honestly. But regardless, even if it doesn't finish out the year, I mean, I don't know. I will stand by keeping him around a little bit.
But what are your expectations, though?
Like for the following season, or like even the rest of this year? I mean, I would imagine continue the rest of the contract. I would imagine we're getting like 2026 is what, like 6th year, 7th year is like
terrible.
Probably. It depends on what the rest of the team is looking like too. I mean, the guy feeds off of like energy. It seems like the locker room. And again, I mean, you can talk about his attitude all you want. I think it's been pretty shit in the past, but I feel like recently he's kind of like stepped it up a little bit. I really do think he was humbled by like having Iglesias start over him for a little bit, being benched. Yeah, dude. And exactly. And Iglesias comes on with a little bit of a bang too. So, it does seem with his play, like, I mean, you saw it yesterday, him, hitting that dinger, or 2 days ago against St. Louis. I mean, he seems to be dialed in, which you got to appreciate that. And again, I talked about it too. I think he is a really good second baseman. He can control the middle infield very well.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, what he does down the stretch and what they decide to do. We'll get into more baseball in a sec, but we got to talk about the golf. But before we do that, let's just finish up these comments.
Is there a lot? Not as much as you would think.
I think it was the I don't talk about Barnes' trash ass Jets team. Go down.
Kev Du said that?
Yeah, go down.
Is Kev Du a Giants fan?
Actually, I don't know
He's a Raiders fan.
Yeah, so that was the first one right there.
That's right.
And it's like, but I think with the Jets, it's completely different. Like, I know they're a mess. I know everything goes wrong. You know what I mean? I'm okay saying that. That's fine.
Yeah, you're phoning it in with them. I feel you've been phoning it in a little bit, dude.
For good reason. Though.
I don't know. I think I'm more jacked up than you are, to be honest.
But confidence 1 to 10, not like for the cameras, Tony.
Honestly, like close to 0, to be honest, dude.
Well,
'cause,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if you recall, guys, but back a couple of years ago when they were first talking about getting Rodgers, I was like, yo, him
Chief.
in New York, he's a fucking asshole. It's never
Right,
going to work.
Right.
And then you guys convinced me to be a Jet fan, which is totally fine, dude.
No. We fucked you with that one.
You
let me
really
tell
did,
you.
dude. Like
Yeah.
I almost was like, but at this point, like I'm not gonna stop. Like,
Right,
I gotta
right,
just be a Jets
And
fan
I'm not
now.
gonna stop either,
Not
but
gonna
I'm also
flip-flop.
not gonna be delusional and expect great things from
But
them.
dude, I literally like pray to God that Rodgers does well.
No, it would be
Because it's like
I forgot what like offense for the Jets
literally,
looked like.
dude.
A good quarterback. What does that look like?
Oh my God, dude. Like you can't. Like he cannot flop. Like even game 1, bro. Like you got to have like over 300 yards,
Yeah.
couple passing TDs, clean game, 21-3, 21-6, like dominant victory. And they're playing the 49ers
They
week
are,
1.
but
Fuck.
Ayuk might get traded. McCaffrey's nursing a calf strain, so potentially there's an opportunity there. So are they going to take advantage of it? And obviously, Rodgers' personal vendetta, how the Niners selected Alex Smith over him 20 years ago.
They look the same.
He still has. So I would not be surprised if he's healthy, if they have a good performance. But again, who the hell knows?
Did you see Alex Smith fucking tweet out that photo of his leg?
Yeah.
Like yesterday.
That was crazy that he came back after that too.
And dude, it looks like half a leg, bro. And it still is all mangled and fucked up.
What a warrior.
What
honestly.
an animal that guy is, honestly.
And then what else we got here, Zach?
Just after the Jets, Josh B says Tommy. Kev Du says prime example why I hate Yankee fans like Barnes. He just proved it. Past 20 years, the Astros are better than the Yankees.
It's cheating scandal though. You can't really take it easy.
Bad example. Terrible, honestly.
Although great bounce back, Dusty. You got to respect Dusty.
Like Dusty. Yeah, but he's not an Astro, despite him being part of them winning a World Series. He just still, even with that was his only title.
Right.
I just think of him with the Giants because I think he was there the longest.
I mean, storied career. Like, tremendous, dude.
Absolutely.
And I'll never forget, honestly, his hand. I remember when they brought him in because I was working at the network. The whole cheating scandal, Correa, the poor apology, AJ Hinch, whatever. What a fucking chief that guy is, dude. But nonetheless, dude, Dusty comes in. Calm, cool, collected, like making jokes with the media. We're getting past this. We have to tell the guys it's me and I'm not him, whatever. He really I think he set a great culture for them to win. Like he did. He's again that veteran manager coming in. Like it was a good move.
It was. And we saw Bochy win last year as well.
Exactly. We'll have to have either of them manage the Mets. Or the Mendoza love that.
And then what else we got here?
Kev Du says, but we swept all 4 games this year, but you're that much better than us.
Commissioner's Trophy, not Subway Series Trophy, Kev.
Josh B says, Kev, you're not wrong, but you do typical Mets things. Also, sorry, not sorry.
Josh B,
LOL.
the man of the hour.
Kev Du says, yeah, and the Yankees made all the right moves. Assuming there's some sarcasm there.
That's a good assumption.
Yes. It says, stop, Brian. The Yanks haven't won shit since 2009, bro. Your fight has no leg. No leg to stand on.
The past. But again, we have a chance. We're in the conversation. That's where you need to be to start. So that's the point that I've been making. And then what else we got here?
Josh B says, right now, Jazz was the right move. He's made a bigger impact than expected. Kev Du says, bro, there was no worse decision made than Ellsbury. So
Ellsbury 10 years ago. Yeah. It was a bad move, Kev.
I mean, he's not wrong, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, Jason Bay, anybody? I mean, come on.
Kev Du says,
and I guess the Yanks are doing the right thing. Why does he keep spelling right like that?
I don't know.
Like shop right.
Shop right, yeah.
Him and fucking
Al. Haven't heard from Al in a while.
Oh, Al's in the house? Let's go, dude.
He said the Mets need to get rid of McNeil.
Saying, he's a big Mets fan.
He doesn't have the attachment, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
He's a rat, Tony. I mean, listen, I know he's playing well, but he is. He doesn't have a good personality. He doesn't.
I know. He's definitely like tough in the locker room. But again, I mean, it seems like him, I don't know. I feel like he's gotten turned a new leaf. I want to think that. Maybe it is just because I want to think that, but I don't know, dude. It's tough. Nice to have Al in the house, though.
And then what else we got here?
Josh B says, forgot when have you ever seen it, period.
The Jets with the quarterback play. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Sanchez was close.
Matthew Ryan says,
Oh God.
Mets suck, losing to the lowly Rockies, hot
Mm.
garbage, and then says
At Kev Do.
at Kev when have the Mets won anything? Josh B says Yoenis Cespedes. I think he's referring to like
A bus contract
that we've made.
Yeah, but he's
No,
just
it was
prick,
it was
dude.
a magical
He fucking
that half season though. He was insane.
unbelievable,
The
dude.
farm,
the
the
farm,
golf.
dude. The golfing, the neon sleeve,
The retirement.
Oh my God, dude! I can't with him.
Matthew Ryan says at Kev they have not won anything.
Matty boy.
Kev says Jason Bay lasted 2 years. Alfred says he's good like every 3 years.
Good point.
And
McNeil?
McNeil.
Matthew Ryan said, Tony, when did the Mets win anything? What a joke.
2015 they won something.
And then he says, and then Kev Do, last one.
Says Matty Ice, little kids should be seen and not heard from.
I think he's not that. I forgot how old he said he was, but is he like mid-20s?
Matthew Ryan, I think he's 30.
Or he's 30.
Yeah, dude. He's around our age, actually.
No, but
yeah.
Kev, because he's in his 40s, we're all children,
we're all kids
right?
to him for sure, dude. I thought Kim and Josh were way older than 40.
In their 40s.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, Matthew Ryan, our age, he's gonna owe me steak. Don't worry, dude. Mets are getting the wild card, dude. Don't worry.
But
Don't
good.
fucking worry.
The delusion continues.
They're going to the wild card, dude.
I mean, you want to add another wager here?
Sure. What do you want?
Sakura dinner.
Done. Wild card. That's it.
Chop this up.
That's it. Nothing else. Chop it up.
I want to look at this.
The
at
contract.
The end of the season. Yes. 100%. And honestly, I'm dead serious here. Whatever you want. You can have anything on the menu. Order the whole menu. Get 10 drinks.
Oh my
Get
God.
habit.
No. Dude, I am talking about earning for some Sakura, dude. Oh my God. The filet and shrimp.
Oh my God.
The filet and shrimp right now. House it, dude.
Yeah. No, that would be good. So
I've been there forever.
I guess either way, we're going to go to Sakura at the end of the regular
season.
So let's go
to kick off the playoffs.
So yeah, let's talk some golf here. And,
good God.
I can't believe how long it's already been, and like we haven't even really talked about anything other than
haven't talked about anything, dude. Not even the game last night.
But Wyndham Championship starting tomorrow, the last event of the PGA Tour season. Sedgefield Country Club, Greensboro, North Carolina. Everybody jockeying for position here to get into the top 70. Your defending champ is in the field, Lucas Glover, who shot 20 under last year to be 2 shots clear of Byung-Hung An and Russell Henley. Tom Kim won in 2022 at 20 under as well. He had a 5-shot victory. Kevin Kisner actually won in the playoff in 21 at 15 under. Jim Herman won in 2020 at 21 under. And then JT Poston tied the tournament record 258 minus 22, 1 shot clear of Webb Simpson back in 2019. So needless to say, there's been some scoring on this course. So this is the Ross course at Sedgefield, and it measures out to be 7,127 yards. And it looks like prize money here is set at $7.9 million, which is of course a all-time tournament high here. The winner collecting $1.422 million. So pretty good purse here. And obviously a lot of these guys, are really just trying to put themselves in a better position in those FedEx Cup standings. Obviously top 30 only qualifying for the Tour Championship at Eastlake. We talked about this earlier in the week, but your big guns here, you got Brian Harmon, Bob McIntyre, Sanjay Im, Keegan Bradley, Cameron Young, Ashke Bahatia, Shane Lowry, Billy Horschel, Justin Rose, Minwoo Lee, Jordan Spieth, Denny McCarthy, Nick Dunlap, Cam Davis, Davis Thompson, Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin, Aaron Rye, Lucas Glover, Tony. So it's interesting. I mean, I think this is a tournament that's anybody's game, and I don't think
it really is.
Because the course is so easy. I like we've seen with Jim Herman, who even knows where he is at the moment, winning in 2020, that anybody can win this tournament. So I think it's wide open in terms of a winner.
Yeah, dude, honestly. And I mean, we don't have anyone who's has a golf ranking, I think, within the top 15, or maybe one person. Harmon is 15.
Yeah.
So it really is. I mean, you look at the rest of that playing field. You mentioned Bahatia, Glover, who won last year. I mean, Justin Rose, even, Keegan Bradley. These guys, anyone could really win this one. It's honestly kind of tough to make a decision here. And it's interesting. I kind of, Byung-Hun An was my sleeper for the Olympics. And you mentioned the tied for second last year. I don't think he's not playing in this tournament, dude, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think he's had a good season. He doesn't need to. That's why.
Really?
So guys that are inside the top 30, especially well inside, I think he's even in the top 10 potentially. I can look at the Comcast Business Tour top 10.
Camaraderie.
But I think that's most likely why Ben On is not. But I'm gonna actually pull that up while you are going over your winner.
That's right, sleeper. Dude. All right. So looking here, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I think Sung Jae Im, I believe, has the best odds to win here. Yeah, at plus 1,400, you have Shane Lowry up there, Billy Horschel, Siwoo Kim, Cam Young. It's actually interesting. The two guys I was looking at Bahatia and Justin Rose.
Rosie, what a performance at the Open. Kind of tough that he couldn't get that one done.
I know, but tied for second there. And the only thing, you're worried about those wily, grizzled vets here.
Ben On is 12th, by the way. Strong start to his season. Is kind of tapered recently. The Grizzly vets?
I know. I kind of want to go, but again, I feel like so often you see with them, like they have that good run for a tournament, and the next tournament miss the cut,
Yeah.
But again, I'm gonna go with Bahatia. Why not, dude?
Wow.
Ashke here. I mean, again, you want to look at his last few tournaments. I mean, not great. Last I tried to look here. I guess obviously Travelers, Rocket Mortgage back-to-back, tied for 5th, tied 2nd, cut at the Open, the 3M tied for 64th. So I think he's due for, at the very least, a top 10, top 5 finish to put him in contention. And I never feel like, again, just like, last year, tight race here, 1-stroke lead, the tied for second, 19 under, whatever. I think it's going to be that tight, between all these players. So if you put yourself in contention for Sunday, you're going to have an opportunity to maybe, bunny hop some players, get in first place. And I think that's what Akshay is going to do. I think he's going to shoot well enough to put him inside like the top 6, top 5, whatever, to come Sunday. And I'm going to say, honestly, what is it, a par 71? Stand by.
Of course, I went to a different page here because I'm checking out one of my sleepers.
Oh, no.
Come on, Tony.
Where is it, dude? Hold on. Overview. Dude, you got to be kidding me.
I'll find it in 2 seconds.
You probably will, dude. Why is it just
70.
fucking here, dude?
Par 70.
Where is it?
Actually, Wikipedia has it.
Oh, damn it. Par 70. I say Ashke shoots a solid 64 on Sunday.
To win. Wow.
He wins.
Comeback win, or like is he down?
I don't think he's down. Like I said, top
right
5, to come into Sunday. Excellent Sunday. Puts him ahead. I'll say 21 under, let's say, for the final score there. He wins it. In terms of a sleeper, I don't know. I mean, can Justin Rose be a sleeper?
No. Come on.
I gotta go down.
Go outside the top 50 of the world. Come on.
Outside the top 50 of the world. All right. So let's see what we got going on here. Glover's at 50. I guess Steven Yeager. Why not, dude?
The Jägermeister.
Well, yeah, let's go for the Jägermeister. I know Thomas Dietrich is also one I like picking for sleepers. Give me Yeager out to the top 50 there. Obviously, I think for a man of his age, of his stature, of his level of play, I think he has a perfect opportunity to be a good sleeper here. So let's go, dude.
So I'm gonna go a little outside the box here. And I'm not gonna lie, but I'm fine. If anything, we're flexible, Tony. I was gonna take Bahatia. But I do have another idea here, and it's really based on nothing other than he's fucking due. Give me Jordan Spieth. Okay. It's just really, has been a shell of himself for a long time. That's here. For sure. And a win here at Sedgefield, I think would do a lot for his confidence. Let's say he's rolling in those putts, he's chipping out from the bunker. So Spieth wins this 17 under par.
Wow.
And a sleeper to continue his impressive streak of qualifying for the FedEx Cup playoffs every year since its inception. The grizzled vet, Tony, a tied 3rd at the 3M, Matthew Kuchar. Getting it done, 46 years young. What a feeling that would be for Cooch. And who knows? Maybe he's, I know you said usually the follow-up, the older golfer, but maybe this is the outlier.
How old is he? Do you know?
I just said 46. Wow.
You said 46?
Everything okay?
Really?
No, I literally I'm saying 10 seconds before you asked that question, I said the Grizzly vet, 46 years young.
Damn.
What were you
Sorry.
thinking about lunch?
No. I was looking at the rest of the field. I was looking at Kirk Kitayama, JT Poston.
If you had first thing that comes to mind, though, lunch.
First thing comes to mind, what I would want for lunch.
Yeah. Sakura.
No, that's tough, dude. I feel like I would go. Actually, I don't know because there's a massive recall for Boar's Head cold cuts. I don't know if you heard about that. I think maybe turkey specifically. So, but I kind of really want like a turkey sandwich right now.
Wow.
Like
okay.
from like Best Edibles or like any deli.
I don't know
like,
why. Turkey, I don't.
You don't do
hate
turkey,
it,
right?
But I don't love it.
Like I do classic like turkey, cheese, mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato,
Ooh.
pickles.
Oh my god,
so good,
that's like
dude.
the type of sandwich.
No,
ooh.
I love that shit.
Like that's low on the
It's nice
totem pole
sea
for me.
salt and vinegar chips on the side.
Those are good. You sneak a couple on the sandwich or
Never in the
Materiello,
Don't
family
have
tradition.
sandwich,
Oh man.
I guess you put them on the sandwich, huh?
Not always, but I will. It's not
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's not taboo, Tony, to do that.
All right.
Now we're getting a little crazy. No?
Bob McIntyre, dude.
He could win, honestly. He's had a good season, winning the Scottish.
Dude, honestly, I feel like any one of these golfers
They
could
could.
potentially win. I don't
They
even care
could.
if they're outside the top 50 or world ranking, what their odds are to win. I mean, you've seen these names, even like Will Zalatoris, dude, Austin Eckroat. Like any one of these guys could do it.
Yeah,
So I think it's gonna make for a good tournament, to be honest.
absolutely. So, we'll have to see what happened. Coverage tomorrow starting at 6:45.
Greensboro.
From Greensboro on ESPN Plus. I don't think no Reed Fowler yet, but I believe next week at the FedEx St. Jude, he should be making his return. So that'll be interesting to see. I haven't seen him on anything since I played golf with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And then it looks like 3:00 we'll start the Golf Channel. So I think that's probably a 3 to 6 or 3 to 7
Solid.
in endeavor there, Tony, for Golf Channel. So excited to see this, and we'll do definitely a couple leaderboard updates tomorrow.
Oh yeah, dude. Are you trying to get around in today or not?
I'm leaning no, just because I just feel like it's one of those times where I could go,
Mhm.
but is it really going to be enjoyable? A little colder,
I know,
damp.
dude.
Yankee baseball. That's all I need.
Damp.
I can watch Yankee baseball for 6 hours. Let's go.
The dampness is the worst.
And speaking of baseball, let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
Yep.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it. Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
I did see a comment while we were going for the golf sneak in here about
boy.
Kev asking about when we're going to pay off our NFL pick bet. But the thing that Kev forgets is we were victorious in the playoff rendition. But I think a tiebreaker, 2-on-2 basketball. You down?
Me and you versus Kev Du and Josh B?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go,
Let's
dude.
go is right.
Kind of interested to see what they're going to say back here, honestly. I mean, you never know, right?
That's got to be like, that's something like that's organized, date in the calendar, no
Yeah.
fucking ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
Like we'll film it. Michael's probably riled somewhere in his car. Let's go, dude.
Wow. And I missed these. Al with a couple comments directed at you saying, Tony, no, don't do it to yourself.
McNeil?
You know how this ends. You're better than that. I'm guessing.
Oh, the wild
McNeil.
card?
Probably both. I'm guessing.
Dude, come on. They're going to make the wild card. I know. Listen, certain teams are going on runs. I understand it's a tough stretch right now. Obviously, Angel Series don't want that. Need the next 2 games in Colorado. This is it for me. I mean, if they don't, like, they have to beat Colorado because Zach and I were talking about it. They have like a tough stretch ahead of themselves. End in the year, 2 out of the last 3 series against the Phillies. You got to assume you lose some games there. So, I mean,
I forgot. What did you say the confidence level was on the playoffs?
I think I actually said 100%. No, I didn't say 100%. I don't know. I don't remember.
Well,
But right now, I mean, now it's like wavered a little bit, but I'd give them, I guess like a 2/3 chance. So like 67%,
67. What
which
about
is
you,
passing.
Zach?
67 sounds nice.
I'm right around there, like 70%.
Ooh, the extra
70%.
3% from
Yeah,
Zach
with a
there.
solid number.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
dude. All right.
All right.
A boy can dream.
Got to keep the hopes high.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah.
we have dipped a bit, but I'm gonna keep my hopes up.
I really didn't expect them, honestly, to be like fumbling it a little bit right here.
Do we have a cap
Um,
though on the Sakura dinner? Both ways, obviously. We don't know how this is gonna end.
I mean, I guess not, but I mean, like, what do you let's try and see.
I mean, we're probably splitting an app, each getting hibachi, and then each getting a couple Sapporos or
Splitting an
Asahis.
app. Interesting.
Maybe like a rock shrimp.
Yeah,
an
I was
edamame,
thinking like a sushi roll each.
a sushi roll each. Yeah.
And an edamame.
So I mean,
that sounds
probably
solid.
out the door though. It probably is around 2. I would think.
I would
the
think
tip.
$100 per person. Yeah,
that's
is what
fine. I'm fine with
come
it.
on, dude.
Let's go. I'm riled.
A cool bill over there, dude.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go.
Be careful, probably Michael's gonna try to tag along, and then Renee's gonna be like, "Ooh, Sakura."
Wait, Matthew wants to come?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be interesting. But
dude,
listen. For now though, we're left with the regular season here, stretch run. As we, we're on August 7th here.
Can't believe it.
First week of October, the regular season ends. So a lot of baseball yet to be played. You alluded to the loss yesterday in Colorado, the rain, Sevy. What happened there?
Dude, kind of a crazy game. Seen some things I've never seen before ever in a game. But because of the rain delay, after Binge Buddies, I was watching a little bit here, obviously, but I was dialed in probably from the 6th inning on, which is ironically enough after Sevy was pulled already because he only lasted 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks. And I mean, you want to take it here, he's on the bump here, matched up against Kyle Freeland, who we know has had some flashes in the pan this year. I picked him up a few times for fantasy for some starts, done some well, but obviously, the other day, pitcher of Rockies not that great, nonetheless.
Overall, though, has that worked out or been disappointing? Like when you've streamed him?
Honestly, it's been very in favor of me.
Really?
I picked him up 3 times.
Were you very careful? Good matchup, not in Colorado.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Away games, shittier teams. Not great lineups he's pitching against. So you do have to be careful.
Playing with fire.
It really is. Like it's one of those that, but you pick him up and you're like sweating, but you love it. You're like, ooh, dude.
Yeah.
And then of course it works out. You're like, I'm the best manager ever. So anyway, we get Sevy going out here. Beautiful night. It looks like it's gonna be in Colorado. The sun is out, dude. Still, temperature looks like it's cool. Slight breeze at the stadium. So you're thinking, all right, great. Yankee game postponed. Ha. We're on the road. We have to worry about that. Totally fine. All of a sudden, a storm rolls in around the 4th, 5th inning. But we'll get there anyway in a little bit here. So Sevy first inning looking great. 98 on the gun, as I mentioned. Locating the fastball. Getting swings. Getting misses here. And again, like status quo. Looked like it seemed like for the past few starts, at least before last start anyway. On track for a bounce back start against the Rockies. You feel pretty good. And then, of course, in the second inning, early and often, with Alonso and Iglesias on base here, you have Harrison Bader, who's been batting so well, I guess the past couple games anyway. Did great against the Cardinals, we know that. But, ropes one to left, 2 RBI single just like that. You're up 2-0. And, again, pretty solid right there. It's exactly what you want. Mets strike first. You love that. And, again, for someone like Sevy who's trying to have a bounce back start, you want to look at getting runs on the board early, take some more pressure off of him. And I mean, it kind of works a little bit, I suppose. Bottom of the second here, this is the start of it. Vientos had a really bad game here, but take a look at the bottom of the second here. You have Sevy struck out the first batter, hits Rogers. So you have man on first here, which is pretty crazy. Bryant hits a single.
He could still hit.
I know, kind of crazy. But he hits the single, and Rogers goes to third. And I guess the ball was played by Taylor in right field. Grabs the ball, throws it to a cutoff man. I believe it was Iglesias. The throw to third. He goes to Vientos. And I guess, I don't know, maybe not a great throw. I think it looked like maybe Lindor was trying to cut it off, couldn't though, and it was in between. It was like in the middle of the baseline between third and home plate. So Vientos couldn't grab it. And I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe he should have someone backing him up anyway. But this ball obviously gets past Vientos. Bryant goes to second. And so he kind of slides towards the dugout, picks this ball up, and then he drops it. And the ball gets dropped and it hits the fence. There's a hole in the cage of the fence, Brian. The ball drops in the dugout. Calls it out of play. Runners advance. So the runner, Rogers on third, scores. Bryant goes to second. Craziest thing. Vander comes out, argues like, yo, man, like there's a hole in this fence. Like that's not Like that's a malfunction of, the stadium,
Ump doesn't wanna
whatever.
hear it.
Ump doesn't want to hear it. Doesn't matter. Run on the board. So it's 2-1, kind of bogus. Vientos is ticked off. And in my opinion, I think that's kind of a ridiculous call. I guess those are just like the kinks of the stadium. But come on, you gonna fucking tell me there's a rip in the fucking fence?
No, but you know what it is? I think it's one of those things. There shouldn't be a rip in the fence, but they can't make that call in the midst of a game.
I know,
just
it
shouldn't
is
be
crazy.
like that. That's what
it is.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot even for the ump, but still, that's bogus, dude. And that's
inspection. Where's the
where's the field crew? Yeah, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? A hole in the fucking fence, bro.
Insane.
And because of that, Rockies score a run. And again, it's a 6-3 loss, whatever you want to say. It's not great. You're up 2-0, and then now all of a sudden it's a 1-run deficit. So it's fast forward now because more mistakes come out here. Bottom of the fourth here. This gets a little crazy here as well. So I believe you had Rogers gets a single. Of course, Rogers lead off single. Severino. At this point, it is starting to rain, by the way. So you have a wet ball, a wet infield. They're not calling the game, whatever. But Sevy obviously struggling a little bit with holding on to that ball. The sinker gets away from him. Rogers is single. Bryant ends up fouling out. Then Toglia strikes out. So you have a runner on first base, 2 outs, dude. And then I believe now Diaz is up. And I guess maybe you can blame Vientos for this, but Diaz hits the ball, broken bat. Bat and the ball go straight at Vientos. Vientos obviously gets, can't really see because there's a bat and a ball coming at him, misses the ball, gets past him, RBI double. It's 2-2 just like that, which would have been an inning-ending inning out right there.
Right.
It would have thrown it to Vientos, could have even thrown the guy out at second, would have been over. All of a sudden now, because of that kerfuffle by Vientos, which again, I'm going to blame him anyway. There's a bat coming at you. Keep your eye on the fucking ball, dude. Catch the ball. It wasn't crazy, RBI double.
Do you think he was like zoning out for a second? That's why.
I think it was the fact that the bat came at him.
He froze.
Because he saw a bat ball at him and he did freeze. So again, what would have been inning ending results in a run being scored. Next batter up, Cave, 2-run dinger. It's 4-2 now.
Luis Heel.
So a couple bad mistakes. In the infield leads to 1 run here, another run there, not ending the inning, leads to a 2-run homer. So what really should have been still a 2-run lead, you're down 4-2 now. Not great. You end up getting out of the inning as Blackman flies out to Lindor after that. And of course, it always ends in that, where there's that the home run that clears the bases, whatever. The next batter, fly out.
Quick thing here, because we see this all the time. Why do you think at the end of the day, when there's an extra out, that the team that makes the mistake can never get away with it? Because the other team, if that didn't happen and they were just batting, they might go 4 or 5 scoreless innings in a row. Right. What makes stuff happen after, an extra out is given? Why do you think that is? Is there like more juice on the team that gets that opportunity and they're like, I'm taking advantage of this?
Absolutely. It's definitely that. And then on top of that, you want to talk about a mental game, beat yourself up about it. Vientos' second mistake of the game.
So then if there's a big play that comes at him after that just happened, then he might make another mistake because he's focusing on it.
And not for nothing, like if I'm Sevy too, both of those mistakes by Vientos weren't scored as errors. Those are earned runs in favor in terms of Sevy. So like he's probably a little tight.
And in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, no, we're going to get through this. But then they know it's like, every time this happens.
Every time this fucking happens. Exactly.
Yeah, 2-out walk.
It's the same deal. Exactly, dude. It's always that 1 out that's tough, especially after the mistake. It's totally mental. And again, look, this is a perfect example too. Cave comes up, hits the home run. Home run's already given up. Pressure's off. Blackman flies out. Okay. Right. Get him to fly out. Top of the 5th here. Mets try to battle back a little bit. Taylor, double. Nimmo, RBI single, just like that. Nimmo actually ends up going into second. Great play by him. Freeland gets pulled at that point. But it's 4-3, so you're still in the game. Now this is where things are getting kind of out of hand. Because it's bottom of the 5th, and it is fucking raining, Brian.
Pouring.
And they're not calling this game. And Sevy clearly having troubles, gripping this ball. Leadoff single given up to Tofar. You do get Doyle to ground out, McMahon to ground out as well. But then Rogers RBI double, Bryant flies out. It's 5-3 just like that. And that is the end of Severino, rightfully so. And I think at that point they did do the rain delay. So again, you don't even talk about like that too. Mets score, run, try to get some hitting going. Then they call a rain delay. Killing whatever momentum they had. And they could never really recover. I mean, the score is 6-3. They already scored 3 runs by the 6th. They come out after, I don't know, maybe a half hour, 45-minute rain delay. The Mets bring in Brazoban.
2 scoreless.
2 scoreless, which is good, I guess. And by the way, that home run too, in the 4th to Cave, that was such your typical like Colorado home run.
You think it doesn't?
Just got over the wall.
Oh,
it was carrying forever, dude. Like it really was like your typical Colorado home run too. So obviously tough loss. You mentioned Brazoban, whatever. Young comes in, gives him another run. But it was just brutal, dude. It was, again, the grounds crew over there in Colorado, obviously fucking up, dude. The fence, the lack of calling it, honestly, by the umpires here. And then on top of that, Zach was saying how like during the rain delay, they didn't even cover the field. They were just putting more sand in the infield.
I was listening to Keith McPherson on WFAN last night. He was saying that they're dumping dirt on the field.
You know why? Because they fucking waited too long to call a rain delay, and the
Yeah.
infield was soaking wet. You could see
Yeah.
it on television. So I don't know what the thought process here was. It's fucking so dumb, dude. Like honestly, it really is so stupid.
But it looks like obviously that didn't help, of course.
Right.
But it looks like the opportunities that they couldn't take advantage in the 6th and 7th inning was the end of the game, really.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They were 1 for 7 in general with scoring position. 8th inning was nothing.
Too cute with the Winker pinch hit for Torrens, because hasn't Torrens been good, or he's tapered recently?
No, I mean, I don't know.
Winker hasn't done anything though.
He kind of really hasn't.
I know he just got there.
And I mean, again, you pinch it from what did you do? Grounds out, double play.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are we doing? Especially like again, I suppose.
But 1st and 3rd, 1 out. I mean, you got to get that run in.
No fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
And then even like you said, the 7th inning too. I think you have 2 runners on with 1 out again. Let's see, Bader grounds out.
Second and third with 2 outs.
But and Martinez had grounded out.
JD, I guess, has really been going through it. As somebody, I think it's 230 the last 20 games or something. He said,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I guess so. And that's, I think, for most people too who are surprised by that. I think it's been masked just because he hit 2 grand slams in the past 10 games. So
right.
That's definitely why. But you see a lot of 0 for 4 nights from him here, which is kind of tough. I mean, I wish we had a little bit more depth in the roster to maybe bench him. Maybe put Vientos at DH, bring in someone else at third base. Like imagine if Brett Beatty was someone who was actually
Where is
good,
Brett Beatty?
dude. He's in the minors.
Is he doing well there?
Last we checked, which was a while ago, no.
Huh. And when he was here, he was terrible.
Terrible at the plate.
Wow. But did he start out really hot, or was that last season?
You're thinking of last season.
Okay.
And he started third base to start the year, and
Vientos was in the minors.
Vientos was in the minors. He came up a couple times to DH,
and then
bat was hot, and then they started him after that. Which again, I mean, Mendoza's a good move at the end of the day because I mean, Beatty was bad. Talk about making defensive mistakes. I mean, bad.
You think his future is not in the organization?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I think it's so tough for someone like him, highly touted, thrown into the fire immediately. I always go back to his first at bat, first pitch, home run. Talk about having pressure on your shoulders, at that point. Especially going into that Mets team. I mean, talk about like lack of patience around the Met fan base. You need a great third baseman, and he wasn't living up to the pressure. Could he? Maybe.
But is it one of those things? And like, I don't know name anybody that you'd be interested in, but if he's part of a package to acquire someone you're excited about, I mean, you're not hesitating. Like,
I would trade him. Yeah, absolutely.
But you just wouldn't want to trade him for like, I don't know, a middle reliever or something.
No, I wouldn't want to trade him for someone who's not good at all.
Yeah,
because he would be probably good in another organization.
But might be best for both sides, so especially if you've got Vientos at third, or you don't think he's going to be long-term at third?
I don't know. I honestly, at one point, I really thought it would be Beatty, but I mean, right now it's looking more Vientos. So at this point,
has he been doing a good job
Vientos.
at third on the field?
Honestly, yeah. Other than last night, he really hasn't had many issues, dude.
Okay.
At least something that I've seen, he's not, leading the league in errors. He's not like the top error having third baseman, But nonetheless, dude, obviously last night, tough for him. You want to think about his mistakes, the consequences of those mistakes. Could have cost him the game. At the end of the day, though, like you said, the Mets could have hit better. Sevy could have pitched better. The bullpen could have done a little better. At the end of the day, you had Young give up another run too at the end there. And the Mets in the 9th, there's really stood no chance.
But if they hadn't burned like their second catcher after Alvarez single. I mean, I guess they were still on 3 runs, but I was going to say they could have done a pinch runner stole, but if you didn't get any hits afterwards, I mean, you weren't going to score anyway.
Exactly. So I don't know why Alvarez didn't start. Maybe nursing his shoulder a little bit, but be. I don't know why.
Or maybe he's been catching Sevy. Sevy hasn't been doing well. Oh, maybe Terrence will do better. Sometimes they.
Yeah, maybe. And honestly, Terrence, I mean, when he does pinch hit, he's a good catcher. When he does fill in, he does bat well as well. So yeah, I guess that's fine. But it's obviously on to tonight. You need to win the next 2 games.
Yeah,
they're must-win games.
Especially after that Anaheim series, for sure.
Oh my God, dude! Especially after the juice after St. Louis.
All hyped up and then to fall flat. It's tough, but we'll see if they could do it tonight. Before we get to tonight, couple comments here. Michael Butka, boys, can we agree that Dan Hurley is the man? That guy is my man. And yeah, I mean, we all agree with that. That's somebody who backs it up. Obviously, there's a lot of bark with Hurley, a lot of yelling, the facial expressions, but you've won back-to-back championships. Nothing to complain about there. It doesn't appear that Josh and Kev are too excited for the 2-on-2 basketball. Josh B saying playoffs versus an entire season. How is that even with the crying emoji? So a little deflection there, Tony, on the basketball? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe they're just scared. Maybe they just don't want to do it.
Which I don't blame him. But then he says
Keith
McPherson is very good. Have you heard much of him or no?
Keith McPherson.
Yeah, he does the MLB Network as well.
Yeah, dude, I have heard of him.
I think he's really good, honestly. Like,
I'm trying to think, dude. I'd have to maybe.
But you probably don't you probably have only seen him there because you probably never listened to WFAN.
Never.
But he does KM to AM. So he does like the late night shift till like midnight or whatever. But and he used to be overnight, so he moved way up to there. But I think eventually he'll be like in a prime
time out. Yeah. All right, there we go.
And it's refreshing too. You couldn't roll your eyes at this one, but to have a Yankee fan. And the one thing I think you would respect, he's very reasonable. Almost reminds me of Josh. Maybe that's why Josh likes him. Like he's not like, you know what I mean? He needs to have all the boxes in check for the Yankees.
Right.
The criticism will be there like when it needs to be. Like he's good with that. And then Josh B answering finally saying he'd rather bowl. Well, no shit, Josh. I mean, how many 300 games do you have? I'm too old for basketball, right, Tony? With the crying emoji.
There we go, Josh. Yep. You're catching on now.
But yeah, I mean, we would need like, I don't know. At least if I'm measuring up with Josh, I mean, I need 150 pins probably. I mean, I'm not even gonna lock this to bowl 130.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so tough, dude.
The one time I had you though,
I feel like that'd have to be like a warm-up game, establish a handicap, and then we'll go from there.
The old warm-up game.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do, dude. Because handicaps are tough, dude. And I'm sure the same deal like if you're, matching someone up with someone in golf too.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God,
it's tough.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. So we obviously have a lot of baseball tonight. Yankees with the double dip after the rain out last night. So an opportunity here against the Angels. First game going to be at 4:05. So let all this damp weather kind of dissipate, get the field ready. And then it's the traditional doubleheader for those who are able to go to the game. You get a treat. I was looking this morning. I think it's like $15-20 to get in the door for 2 games. Pretty good opportunity there. And it'll be 30 minutes following the first game will be the start of the second. So same pitching matchup we were supposed to have yesterday, Heel versus Daniel. And that's the 4:05. And then immediately following that, you're going to have Will Warren making his second start for the Yankees this year, matched up against Carson Fulmer. So Warren, despite, giving up, I think it was 4 runs, against the Phillies over like 5 1/3. But, I thought looked pretty good. And I would not be surprised if he's part of our playoff bullpen. And he has an opportunity to show what he can do as a starter, maybe a future starter for us as well. But I think this is an opportunity for the Yankees to grab 2. Bullpen's well rested, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you get the extra roster spot as well, being that it's a doubleheader. So let's see what happens. And then the Mets game here, 8:40, Blackburn versus Feltner.
That's right.
Feltner 1-10 with a 4.97, making Paul Blackburn looking Cy Young like 5-2, 4.11. Did some good stuff in his first start. But again, with the altitude here, I mean, you feel, you got to win 1st to 7, 1st to 8 in this one.
I mean, come on, dude. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Feltner, give me a freaking break, dude. That guy, talk about batting practice. Yeah. I mean, you should be all over him.
Yeah, you should be. But will you be? We'll find out in a full-on abbreviated baseball frenzy.
Oh, right, baby. Let's freaking go, dude. It's Blackburn. Who would have thought starting here? Game 2, all right, against the Rockies, Colorado. Coors Field, baby. Hopefully the rain can hold up. Hopefully that pesky fence has been fixed since last night. You mentioned Blackburn's good start, though, against the Angels last Friday. The 1 win there. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Very respectable for his first start as a Met coming from Blackburn, which is sick, dude. So let's freaking go here. You'd imagine solid start from him. 6 innings, dry weather, a good infield, nothing crazy here. I'll give him 6 innings, maybe 2 earned runs, maybe a 2-run dinger given up at some point. It's Coors Field. Why not? But give me 8 Ks from him. Dominant, dude. Because all these Rocky players are swinging for the fences. Do you know why? Because they need to score, because they're going to know Feltner early and often getting popped. 3 innings this guy's going to last. 7 earned runs. Absolute pandemonium. Offensive explosion. Harrison Bader's been on fire. RBIs yesterday. Home runs against the Cards. Let's freaking go. His bat's been hot. Continue with that here. Give me some Lindor action. Alvarez, I would imagine back in the lineup here. He had a great pinch hit last night, bringing over that offense tonight. Bottom of the lineup going to be absolutely banging, baby. Bader, Alvarez, even McNeil in there. Vientos tight. Give me maybe a 2-for-4 night out of him. Solid at third base now. No mistakes. Give me the Mets. Even bring in Diaz for this game. Get him some more warm-up pitches. Let's go here. They win the game. I'll say 8-3.
All right. So I have the extra pick today, so we'll go over. And I had you penciled in for that, Colorado. How do you not? What was the total?
10.5.
10.5. Okay. Went under last night, maybe over tonight. But yeah, looking at these 2 games here, the first one, Heel Daniel. I think Luis Heel is going to be jacked up and really have a great performance here. Weak hitting Angels team. I think his offense too will give him some breathing room. Why not? Judge, Soto, maybe Stanton's first home run back since the injured list. But I think this is an absolute bloodbath. Heel, 6 scoreless, 12 strikeouts, and the Yankees are going to win this one. I think it's a shutout. They haven't had a shutout in a while. Yankees winning this game 8-0, so as Tony would say, just the under.
Just the under there. Let's go to Pittsburgh here, 6:40 p.m. on FS1, ladies and gentlemen. San Diego, -160. Your over-under is 7.5. Padres, Brian says they've been hot, winning 4 out of the last 5. Pirates, complete oppo there, losing 4 out of the last 5, including last night getting shut out by the Padres, 6-0. It seems that when the Pirates do not have a certain somebody, Paul Skeens pitching, they do struggle a little bit. Michael King on the mound here for Padres.
Missed a start over the weekend, extra rest. Be jacked up.
Exactly, absolutely jacked up here in Pittsburgh. I want to say full game shutout, but that'd be crazy. But still, give me a quality start from him. 7 innings, 3 earned runs. Marco Gonzalez, though, young guy, only 29 innings pitched so far this year for the Pirates. 1-1, 3.72 ERA. Not terrible, I guess, but has given up 3 home runs. Trouble with the long ball. So come on, Padres, the long ball. Shutout, maybe not. I say Padres win this game. I don't know. I'll say 5-2. Which
under, right?
Give me the over, though.
Padres in the over.
5-3. Padres in the over.
All right, game 2 for the Yankees. Will Warren, second start here. I think he's going to pitch well. I think you can give him 6 innings. Maybe he'll give up 2 runs, strike out 7. But the Yankees, Carson Fulmer, give me a break, looking like Michael Fulmer towards the end of his Tiger tenure. But I think the Yankees will have another strong offensive performance here, winning this game 9-5. So the Yankees in the over, sweeping the doubleheader in the Bronx.
Absolutely love that. Speaking of doubleheaders, D-backs playing the Guardians. That's right, dude. The rain delay, whatever, yesterday. So let's freaking go here. We have 2 games today. We're going game 2, 4:10 p.m. Eduardo Rodriguez getting a start here. I believe his first start as a D-back coming over from the Tigers. That's right. Look at his year so far, 13-9, 3.3 ERA. So pretty respectable for Rodriguez coming over from Detroit. But most importantly to note here, who's on the mound for the Guardians? Cookie Carrasco, dude. A 5.53 ERA, 3.9. Absolute garbage, brother. So give me game two, brother. Give me Eduardo Rodriguez. Quality start there. Maybe even worth the pickup in fantasy. Who knows? But definitely getting the dub. D-backs win game two. Over under, hold on, is set at 7.5, by the way. So D-backs, I think they could score 5 easily on Carrasco. So 5-3, D-backs over, a day of overs, baby. Let's go.
A day of overs. All right, so I got 2 picks to finish up here. Third pick, not the final pick, Tony.
right.
I am going to go back to the well here. I was wrong last night, but I don't care. There's no way that the White Sox are winning 2 games in a row, being 60 games under 500. No, that's not a typo. 60 games under 500.
60.
So give me America's team, the Oakland A's here. Joey Estes matched up against Davis Martin. A nice, easy 3-0 win. I think Brent Rooker, 3-run homer first inning. No runs the rest of the way. Give me the A's and the under for pick 3. And for pick 4 here, rounding out, always nice to have another selection, after a rain delay. Tough board here. A lot of different ways that I could go. But give me, I'm going to say the Dodgers bounce back tonight. Lost to the Phillies last night. Gavin Stone against Tyler Phillips, the rookie. Phillips getting hammered in his last start. Stone has pitched well. Nobody really talks about him. 9-5, 3.63. I think the Dodgers, I think this is going to be a slugfest. But they will outlast the Phillies here. I'm going to say 9-6. So the Dodgers in the over, and just like that, the baseball frenzy is over, Tony.
Just like that, dude. Could you imagine sitting here at the beginning of the year and thinking you're going to pick the A's 3 times in a row?
Kind of crazy, and I'll probably go 2-1 if they take care of business tonight.
That's right.
Do you expect them to take care of business tonight?
I don't know. I mean, I guess so. I mean,
they're a shit team, but the White Sox are
historically
bad.
Literally ridiculous, dude. So I would imagine that the A's are going to win this one.
One thing I wanted to ask you, I saw, we were kind of talking about it in the group chat. You didn't really say much about this, but Michael was mentioning the 19 strikeouts. Trevor Bauer, the Mexican League, on fire. And I guess no, it's just a fact. Like he all charges with him were dropped. Seems to be though just concerns on teams' ends because no one's really even tried him out. The Mets were going to bring him in, would you want that?
I mean, yeah.
You wouldn't have any.
I mean, listen, I was an advocate for getting him and for getting Snell this offseason. I think the talent is still there. I understand it's the Mexican League. Don't get me wrong here. Right. He could come into the league and get popped and be worthless. But I think he's worth the contract. Again, 19 strikeouts. You mentioned, again, and he's doing it pretty nonchalantly, may I add. He's mic'd up for these games. He's literally talking about his pitch selections, what he's going to throw, where. He has shown command. He's shown that he's still got it. He's shown that he's still dedicated playing in the Mexican League. The guy clearly wants to play in MLB. Now, I mean, hopefully maybe he's humbled a little bit by this entire situation because, I mean, I understand the charges against him were dropped, whatever. He's innocent, man. And that's it. He is innocent. But you can't knock the fact that he has had an attitude problem in the league.
Terry
before.
Francona, how are you?
Not being happy about getting, pulled out of games. He is someone who is, has a mouth. Again, he has a good game. He boasts about it. You've seen him celebrate in the field before too. He's not nice about certain things. So I think, he definitely needs to be polished up. I can only imagine, honestly, what he would be like coming to MLB out of that Mexican League. Who knows what goes on down there, dude. But nonetheless, he's pitching well. So I'll say it then. I'll say it now. And I think for him to be blackballed from the league, if it is because of the whole charges against him and whatnot, that's fucked up because he's innocent. But then again, it's tough to have an opinion on my side of things for this because it's there's things I don't know.
Exactly. I think that's kind of why
there's got to be a reason,
this
guy
isn't the best guy.
I mean, look, I understand the whole justice system. You can get into it.
Right.
He's innocent. You got to go by that, but you never know. We've seen players get off on certain things before. Maybe he's not innocent.
No pun intended.
Exactly. No pun intended there, I guess. Brian,
you kind of did,
Brian searching
but
for it,
you
dude.
set it up though.
No, yeah,
That
you
was
set
an
him up.
alley-oop,
You knock him down.
honestly.
Yep, absolutely. Again, like like I said, you've seen players get away with certain things. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, you got to go off the assumption this guy's innocent. So, like, why shouldn't he be in the fucking league?
I think for me, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the league, but I would kind of rather have another team take a risk on him rather than my team.
Right.
Just because it's like, I think the problem is, I mean, wouldn't there naturally be some division? Some guys will be like, let's go. We got Bauer. Listen, let's take him under our wing. Let's win the World Series.
Yeah.
But then other guys would be like, I'm not talking to this guy. Like, I don't want this guy in our locker room. And then,
yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So it's like, do I think Aaron Judge could probably, navigate through this and handle it? Yeah, but I'd rather just not take the chance, let him go pitch for the Pirates. And then in the offseason, if all reports are good, then we'll have a discussion. That's just kind of my thought. I don't want the risk of a rift.
Right. No, I understand that. I mean, I don't know. If I was the Mets, I would definitely take a chance on him. I would if I'm Mendoza, though, or Stearns, to talk to the locker room about it.
Yeah.
Again, if there's still some type of issue going on legally or attitude wise,
or if everybody's
obviously,
like, no.
Yeah, if everyone's like, yo, we don't want this fucking guy because he does this, this, and this, then it's like, yeah, he's not worth it. But I would definitely, as a manager, I would sit down with my locker room and be like, hey, this guy would improve our rotation. Imagine him coming out of the bullpen even too. Like,
no,
let's go,
I think
dude.
it makes sense for the Mets, and that's why I did bring that up. Just because you're kind of in a situation where
I know
this is go time. So
but
maybe it's worth a risk like
I mean,
that.
all depends on attitude, though.
Yeah.
Because if he comes in, and he's going to be an adjustment. I don't care what you say. It's the Mexican League, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's like they're not MLB players.
Yeah, he pitched in Japan last year. He hasn't pitched in a major league game in 3 years.
Yeah,
Over
so
3 years.
like he's gonna have some struggling, some transitional period at some point. And if he comes in and he's just fucking tight and he just can't handle it, then it's done.
Yeah,
and it's done. He's got to be dialed. He's got to have the focus.
And I could be wrong. I've watched a lot of baseball over my years. I don't remember ever a pitcher getting taken out of a game and throwing the ball into over the fence.
Over the fence of center field,
never
dude.
happens.
Never. I've never seen it before in my life, dude.
Too.
Phenomenal throw, dude. Like pretty impressive.
What do you think?
Like 350 feet, probably.
What do you think, Zach, about if like the Mets were about to sign him? I mean, would you be in favor of it, or what do you think?
I think it's complicated for the reasons you guys stated. His attitude, his past history. Obviously, he's still got it.
Mm-hmm.
I would take a chance on him, but not at the risk of breaking up the locker room, because we've had our issues in the locker room in the past few years, and I think it's taken a lot to really regain that chemistry with a lot of the players that we have and getting them on the same page. So if he's going to come in and just absolutely blow it up, I wouldn't want that. But if they can find a way to keep him on the straight and narrow and he can go out there and play well, then I would definitely give him a chance.
And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of think he's not gonna. I think this is like, we've seen this in other leagues, like with Ray Rice and with Kaepernick. It just seems like once there's that lingering thing where guys haven't played in the league for a while, we know how this ends.
Yeah.
It's almost the comparison with like the guys who are really good struggle, have a little good run.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you think baseball is the same deal? Because we've seen players in hockey play for overseas a few years and then come back.
Right.
Ovechkin did that. Evgeny Kuznetsov did that.
But was there ever anybody in the NHL that you got the sense where there was like some kind of like unwritten or known agreement between the owners not to sign somebody because of something that they did off the ice?
I'm trying to think in hockey, something they did off the ice why they were not re-signed. I mean, to my knowledge, in my lifetime, I don't think so. It's actually funny because I remember Rick talking about like guys like getting drugged up and shit before games. And
drugged up meaning
like coked up.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Or like out drinking the night before, hammered. Yeah, exactly. And then like guys being told to leave or to not be re-signed because of that. But I don't know. I mean, that's a little different, I guess. But I mean, I guess not really to my knowledge.
Yeah.
But
I guess really in any sport, it doesn't happen too often.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
I don't remember. Yeah. Basketball ever? Not really.
Basketball, no. Football, obviously, Antonio Brown comes to mind.
Yeah.
But
But that was after the Bucks brought him in when nobody else really was going to. And
Right,
the Patriots
right.
had. So
but still, I mean, like that guy, not for nothing, like probably could have been still playing in the league.
no,
Like,
I think is him and Le'Veon Bell. It's ironic they were
unbelievable.
teammates.
Yeah.
Two of the biggest wastes of his second half of career I've ever seen.
Crazy.
Guys that were probably the top at their position.
Yeah, no, literally the top, dude. And it's a shame to see that out of athletes. It's a wasted opportunity, you know.
And I don't know about Le'Veon because I think he's
Mhm.
gotten a little chunky over the years, but I think Antonio Brown honestly could still make the Pro Bowl. Honestly, he's such a psychopath.
He
Like
is
if you take apart
a
him, like just
psycho, dude.
doing what he did at MetLife Stadium, like I'm
Dude.
just talking about if he was just playing, I think he would still be productive, honestly. But he can't.
Dude, he can't handle
The
it, dude.
shirt off, the
the-
jumping jacks,
The
Bruce
jumping jacks,
Arians.
dude. The Twitter posting
Twitter
photos of
is
you with
wild.
fat women in jacuzzis, dude.
No, the funniest thing
Caitlin
ever
Clark thing.
was when he posted Giselle kissing him after the Super Bowl
Oh
when Brady got
my
divorced.
God, dude.
That was honestly funny though.
I mean, it's all funny.
Wait, and there was a picture of them in bed on top of it. Wasn't there two
Wait,
things?
really?
I almost
Stop it, dude.
Obviously, AI, anything's possible these days, but there
Oh
was
my
that
God,
on Twitter.
dude.
Yeah.
He's an absolute riot, dude. He should not. Oh my God, there's something
But
going
you think
on there,
like
dude.
I always get confused with people like that. Like, you think he actually can't help it, or he just chooses not to help it?
I don't know, man. I wish I could tell you what that guy thinks. But I think there's something wrong with him.
So
There's
you think
got to
he
be
can't
something
help it?
wrong. I don't think he can help it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, again, like, come on. I mean, if you can help it, you gotta like. If you can, you should be helping it. There's no way he's doing this like on purpose. Like, like there's something wrong with him, man.
Yeah. It's
Like,
sad, honestly.
It really is so
Yeah.
sad, dude.
Yeah.
We could have been like the best receiver.
It's
dude. Like,
interesting though, and I don't know what he did in the locker room, but that whole thing that happened at the end of the Bucks was actually on Bruce Arians because he told him he's not letting him get his bonus, so he's not going to put him back in the game, and that is what set him off. But it's like Bruce Arians, I think, is a chief.
He is a
Honestly,
chief,
Brady
dude.
didn't like him,
No, Brady didn't like him, which is
So,
why I feel like Brady was cool with just like the one and done. Like, get out of
Yeah.
there.
But then it was crazy that Brady vouches for Brown, gets over there, and then Brown just like completely double crosses him.
Oh man. I
But
know.
again, can't help it. So
Yeah, dude,
That's that.
something's going on, dude. Oh man, you seen Remember the Titans, right?
a
Come on.
while ago, probably not the whole thing, but really don't remember much.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't want to spoil it. This is a very sad scene, though.
Oh, okay.
I'm watching it. It's over your shoulder right now.
Oh, you're
dude.
watching it. Gotcha.
You gotta
gotcha.
fucking watch that movie. I can't believe it's a football movie. Come on, like back
Yeah.
in the day too, when Disney was pumping out great sports movies too.
I don't know. I feel like you know what it is with sports movies. Like it's like I just want to watch the games. You know.
Oh my god! But this is a true story, though. Like the true story.
But it's a true
Denzel.
story.
Aren't you a Denzel fan?
But you know what I mean. I don't want to see Denzel on the field. I want to see an actual player on the field. Like you know what I mean. Like he's not a football player. Like what are we talking about?
Oh, he's a coach on the team. So it's...
Either way, he's not a coach. You know. Is that crazy though? I like sports. I don't like imitations. Like I think that's fair to say.
yeah, but like think of it. Like, what about like a documentary though?
But I think a documentary is different. I just don't need to see a reenactment. Love documentaries, honestly.
Fine. I think
but right, I mean, those are better. They're better than reenactments.
it
docs.
depends on the documentary. I
Okay,
would
but
say.
if it's well made, it's going to be
Um,
better every time.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah,
I mean, some of the 30 for 30s are phenomenal. Absolutely
Yeah.
great, dude.
yeah.
I'll never forget watching the Duke Cross one. Because that
I still
one,
haven't seen that one.
that one, I think it came out when I was a junior or a senior in college. So
Uh-huh.
obviously it came out, the boys got together, 30 for 30, we watched it all. And I don't know, man. I mean, the whole Duke Cross thing was going on when I was like in middle school
I
or
was
high
in high
school.
school. Yep.
Yeah, so I was in middle
think,
school
a
still.
Junior in high school.
So I must have been like 7th, 8th grade. And I
Yeah.
remember it happening.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. I don't know if maybe it's because I was too young, or maybe you have this too, but I was always under the assumption until I watched that 30 for 30 that team was guilty. I never knew they were innocent, dude. So
I remember. Yeah,
because
no,
I don't remember it that well. I remember them being on
Yeah.
the news for it, and I remember them being like they didn't play that year. They were
Right.
shunned from campus.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, like they were guilty, bro. And they fucking weren't, dude. And
Yeah.
not for nothing, like the way these kids talk, like watch it. I forget the name of their captain, but he held like a press conference, had the whole letter ready to go, talk about their innocence. And like they had a whole season taken away from them. Like people, like kids on campus protested them being able to still be on campus.
Yeah.
And this whole fucking time they were innocent, dude. And this I mean, she's a hooker, is what she is. This fucking hooker was
Yeah.
lying about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like the whole
know.
school didn't stand by their own fucking athletes.
But
I think it's a total indictment on the university.
that it's
Crazy.
a world thing though.
It
know what I
really
mean?
is,
Everybody, you
dude.
hear something, and even if you other side, but once you hear it once,
Yeah.
you
It's
just
like, oh.
stick with that.
Literally,
You know?
dude. And it's honestly, it was really sad, bro. Such a sad story. I mean, obviously, these guys end up getting off. No pun intended. Again, I guess on the charges.
I wasn't even actually going to say anything
because
this
they were
time.
innocent. But they was like at the end of the documentary, they're like, yeah, you know, I still walk into a bar and they think, oh wow, like you're those Duke lacrosse guys.
Yeah, that's tough.
So fucking tough, dude.
Yeah.
And again, imagine like I thought they were guilty.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure many other people do too.
Yeah. So
Such a shame, dude.
it is.
But you gotta
It
watch
is.
that 30 for 30.
No, I
That's a
will.
great job,
I
dude.
will.
No, you
30
won't, dude.
No, I
Nah.
like 30 for 30s as long as like the Yankees
Yeah.
are now. I'll watch.
But you and Sam, remember the Titans?
Remember the Titans? I guess we'll put it in the archives. Still got to finish though.
Presumed innocence.
You gotta watch it. I'll get you the password. You think you'd want to watch it? Like, does it seem like something
Absolutely,
you'd
dude.
like?
I
Okay.
would be tuned into
Gotcha,
that. Jake
yeah.
Gyllenhaal, big fan of his.
Yeah, no, he does a
Yeah.
good job. Honestly, I've never seen him in anything else, honestly. But then again, I don't watch anything, so
You don't watch anything.
that would make sense.
He's in Brokeback Mountain. You haven't watched that?
No. Oh man, I think that's a good place to end, honestly. But what
Yeah,
a show!
dude.
What conversation! Like,
Great combo
doesn't it
today.
seem like the Yankees met like argument was like 3 hours ago?
It does.
honestly.
It does seem like that. And that argument that's just the argument of the end of time, dude.
Yeah,
It's just that
yeah.
perpetual argument.
Well, I guess really it kind of ends at Sakura, does it not?
I mean, it does. It really ends at who wins the next World Series, honestly. So
another side Sakura. on
the
that
side
one?
Sakura first. That's with him first.
Oh
I
man,
don't know. I mean, that's tough, dude.
yeah,
I mean, obviously, Yankees look like they are a better opportunity to be winning the World Series right now.
right.
But you never know. Trevor Bauer, Mets, who knows, dude?
Bauer to the Mets.
See,
We'll see.
There's got to be something there, Brian. I don't think anyone's gonna pick him up. honestly.
No, it's not happening. It's not wasted time. Honestly, wasted time. But yeah, great conversation today. Really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony Michael Renee and Jane Costume, the merch at downtowntv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go, Yankees!
Mets,
And we
baby!
will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.